Now, more of your go-to for all things home. This is Home Answers Radio, presented by Lang Home Medical Equipment, Valdecast Windows and Doors, and by JeffBuysYourHouse.com. Once again, here's Roger Piper.
Your go-to for all things home. It's Home Answers Radio.
Hi, welcome to Home Answers. I'm Roger Piper. This show's all about your home, inside, outside, and a little promise, if you spend the next few minutes with us, you'll pick up a tip or two that maybe you didn't know. We're happy to welcome Jeff Neidiger. He is the owner of Jeff Buys Your House at jeffbuysyourhouse.com at 630-895-9530. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Roger, thank you again for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet. And Jeff, this is a veteran-owned company, and we want to thank you for your service. That's very important, and I think that speaks volumes for the type of business you run. So thanks for your service, Jeff.
I sure appreciate it.
Now, you have an alternative for people. You're looking to sell your home, okay? It could be a home that you inherited. It could be your home, but it's time to sell, and that decision has been made. So now it's which way do I go? And most people are not aware of an alternative to, the typical, I'm going to find a realtor, I'm going to talk with them, we're going to go through the research, we're going to figure everything out, we're going to stage it, we're going to, do all of that. That's the traditional way of doing it. You offer an alternative. You will buy their house and, give us an idea of exactly what you do that is different from the traditional way.
Sure. Yeah, we've been a buyer since 2007, only in the Chicagoland market. We're all the way from, let's say, DeKalb to the city of Chicago to the Wisconsin border, and we go pretty far south from there. So we serve a pretty large metro and work with all types of homeowners in different circumstances in all types of different houses, whether that be single-family, townhome, condo, small multifamily. But we're pretty good and we're pretty experienced with buying houses in all of those different circumstances and all times of the year, honestly, in all price ranges.
What's the advantage of working with you as opposed to going the traditional route?
Yeah, well, the traditional route is that you stick a sign in the yard and you might work with the best real estate broker in the area. And there are a lot of great brokers out there. And you're putting your house on the market hoping for just the right buyer that not only gives you the price that you want, but can accommodate your time frame. And that's good. And that is great for most people. But for the folks that are more about the time frame and actually don't want to do the repairs, and maybe their house has a lot of contents or a lot of clutter, or they're just not ready to put it on the market, or not interested in having people come to their home and give them negative feedback. In our scenario, we come in with a cash offer, so that's not contingent on financing. It's not like a cash where I have to go ask somebody for the money and get a loan for it. Like this is actual cash. So there's no concern of that falling apart. And we buy the house as is. We're going to take a very thorough look at it so we know exactly what we're getting. And we'd like to have a very surprise-free, easy, hassle-free transaction. That's what everybody wants at the end. No one loves surprises, especially when it comes to real estate. Everyone's heard about deals falling apart, transactions not closing. We hate to have that happen. So we like to go in with eyes wide open so we all know what we're doing and getting, and you're in control of the time frame. So pick a closing date that works best for you, and we'll do our best to accommodate.
Now, you don't have to worry about the home when it comes to, they doing any kind of thing for showings, or, you're looking at it and it's pretty much as is. If there's a lot of clutter, or, you're getting ready to move and you get all that stuff, you don't have to, then you can just move your things, all right? You don't have to deal with getting the house ready for showing.
No, you don't have to do any of that. When we come out and visit you at your property, we're going to sit down and talk about the situation that's going on and what your end goals are, and really be a good listener. And of course, we're going to evaluate the property. But no, it's not about getting it ready to be shown. And at the end, you're not putting your house on the market to look for a buyer with us. We are the buyer, so we are going to purchase the home from you with cash, and we'll walk you through the entire transition and make it not just about a transaction. So it's really a relationship And there's a lot of conversation that goes on because honestly, Roger, a lot of the folks that we buy houses from have lived there for 10, 20, 30, 50, 60 years and have not sold. So, they're not necessarily a real estate expert. This is oftentimes a very overwhelming transaction. So we try and take the burden of that out for them.
Yeah. And that, again, it's a great alternative that not a lot of people are aware of. We're talking with Jeff Neidinger. Jeff Buys Your House at jeffbuysyourhouse.com. You can call him at 630-895-9530. Have a conversation about it. And I'll tell you, Jeff, do you only buy homes that need a lot of work or that are distressed?
No, as a matter of fact, we just purchased one last month, and it was actually new construction. Again, it came down to more of a situation for the seller where they needed someone to come in like us and not only just be a cash buyer, but they also had to hit a time frame that they were relocating out of state, and they had no hardship. Actually, they had such a good promotion that they were getting promoted to move to, again, another state, but they needed a time frame. They needed to hit a closing date that worked for them. And so we can provide that. But that was actually new construction. Actually, they had not even moved into it yet. And so we actually ended up buying a new construction home, and we did some things to it before ultimately we disposed of it and resold the property. But from all conditions, I mean, obviously new construction to the house that really is falling apart. And there's several of those out there too. So no restriction on condition, honestly.
Yeah. So it's, again, anybody can look at this as a possible alternative, no matter what your situation is, correct?
That's right. Yes, that's right.
And the advantages of this would be that you don't have to worry, because many times when you put it on the market, is it priced right? Is it going to close? With you, it's going to close because you're doing a cash offer, done, right?
That's right. Yep. It's cash, not contingent on financing. So, a lot of real estate transactions fall out of contract. So meaning they don't close. There's a contract written, but it doesn't close. And a lot of times it's because the buyer's financing wasn't secure, or the buyer lost their job, or there's a lot of uncertainty around that part of the transaction, which ends up being the larger part of the deal when you can't actually sell your home. Mm-hmm. So there's not the threat of that when working with us, because we have been doing this for so many years. When we sign a purchase agreement with a homeowner, it is our intention to close, and we have the capacity to do so because it is a cash offer.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stress. Personally, talking to people, I mean, I've bought and sold homes. There's a lot of stress involved because you have to do all of this work. You have to get it ready for showing. You got to get with a realtor. You got to actually do the showings. You've got to negotiate a time frame. And then you may have to get some remodeling done before you put it on the market. And I think that's where, for a lot of people, it makes a big difference. Because if I've got a $40,000 remodeling project, I have to go through all of the things that a normal remodeling project would be, timing, all of that, interviewing contractors to do it. Then I have to put it on the market. Then I hope that I get my money back and, make a little bit money off of that renovation. And it's a risk. You don't have that risk with you. This is the number. You don't have to. And then you minus your real estate commissions, you minus your renovation costs and everything else. And when you do that, it's a net number. The difference is you're the one that is buying it, and you're the one that has to turn around and put it on the market. So it's going to be fair for both people. It's going to be fair for the seller, and it's going to be fair for you, the buyer, right? In the end, that's what you're looking for.
Yes, you're correct. With us, it's because you are selling directly to the buyer, which is Jeff Buys Your House. There are no commissions, there are no repairs, and there are no fees. There's not a fee to use our service. There might be some fees that the title company or an attorney charges, but that's outside of what we would be we'd be doing. There's nothing of that. So yes, you get a net number, and so at closing what you're actually going to get out of the property. If you get your taxes paid up, if there's HOA, you get those dues paid. But out of closing, you're walking away with very, very close to what the contract price was because there aren't all those fees.
Right.
And so no surprises there, and we walk you through that entire process.
I can see why somebody would do this just to get rid of the stress. It is very stressful to sell a home. And this one, pretty much you're dealing with one person, you, and that's it.
That's right.
And you can close when you want. You can move when you want. You can do all of that. And I'm sure your time frames are 100% contingent on the person selling the house, right? They can set that closing date.
Yes, and that's very important. I was just reading one of the reviews this morning that a gentleman on one of our Google reviews had said that, we made a bad situation easy to move on, and that we made a reasonable offer and handled all the paperwork and set the closing date that worked for us. It was fast and easy. We also took all the unwanted items and left the rest. And then, we handled the entire mess just like we advertised. So It really is, we work together, but you are in control of that closing date, which, we already have closing dates out right now for 4 months from now. So that's obviously not very typical of your traditional real estate transaction, because that's hard. Most people are going to buy the house to move into it.
Yep.
And with us, that's not the case. So we can certainly accommodate most situations and time frames.
If you're looking to sell your house or you need to sell your house, then give Jeff and his company a call and look at the alternative. Doesn't cost you anything to check it out. Look at the reviews and look at everything. A lot of happy people. 630-895-9530, 630-895-9530, and encourage you to go to the website, jeffbuysyourhouse.com. Jeff, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks, Roger. Have a great day.
You too. This is Home Answers on AM 560, The Answer.